Good evening. Good evening. Welcome to another episode of Law and Order on Give Me the Mic. Another day we're going to try to motivate, inspire, and cultivate the future leaders of our country. And in this legal edition, I got a rock star. I've been a fan since I jumped into the legal space, and he's just all over the place on social media, in the courtroom, and he's the real deal. Can't wait to introduce you to the founder and CEO of Acelia Law. But before we get there, let's go see who pays the bills and give a shout out to all the up salons and Give Me the Mic family. Let's go.
Give me something. I need something to work with. You done already gave the detectives and the prosecution the murder weapon. I mean, don't give them the confession too. I mean, talk to me about it. I'm your lawyer. Give me something, man. Don't give them the confession too.
Yeah, a lot of trouble.
You get in that room with those people. Don't talk to them people, man. Give me something. Don't give them everything, man. Give me something.
Body bag, body bag, body bag.
You gave them enough.
The jury, the defendant.
Hey, Jeremy.
I'm going to the discovery right now. And I see you gave them everything. But now I gotta dig. Because I gotta find something. And I promise you, we can do something. We can make something happen.
2, 3, and...
I miss you so much.
His lawyer is out of Florida. Is he by himself in terms of being a lawyer? Is he doesn't look like he's with the big firm. Huh? Just a smart young man. What is that young man's name? Is it Jeremy something?
Attorney Jeremy McClyman represents Acelia Law Firm. Jeremy
Probable
McClyman.
cause for marijuana possession turned out to be a death sentence.
Jeremy McClymont is a 30-year-old attorney and proud father of a 3-year-old girl.
Testament like Malcolm, so Jeremy McClymont.
Let me take y'all back, man. As I do so well.
All right. Jeremy, welcome to Give Me the Mic. I see you smiling. I was just vibing in the production room with that.
You said you was gonna play commercials beforehand. I didn't know it was my video. My
I
video.
thought so too, but hey, we're going to go with the flow. The Lord knows what you're doing with this, man. It's your turn.
Yeah.
So, welcome to Give Me the Mic. Again, we're going to try to motivate, inspire, cultivate. I want to thank you for showing up. And just like when I met you originally, you show up, you're authentic, and you are about the business of what we're doing in this community space. So just give everybody a roadmap with Jeremy. We're going to talk about personal first, and we're going to go into how he gets busy in the courtroom, and then we're going to end on a lighter note. But first, Jeremy, the man before the lawyer. Like, if someone were to run into you in the street, who would Jeremy McClymont be?
Somebody that's a regular, quiet person. Somebody did run into me in the street one time, and it was like, you that lawyer in that Fulio case? And I was just pumping gas. And I'm just like, and I had like shorts on and like a basketball shorts or whatever. And he's like, I guess he wants to talk to me more than just like asking me that one question. I was like, yeah, I'm a lawyer. I just, I'm not saying that people see me and notice me every day, but like, I just am a regular person. I don't wear like fancy clothes and jewelry and all this crazy stuff. I just go to work.
Yeah, Versace out and Gucci out. You got the bag from a settlement or a nice kill.
I just go to work, come home, and sometimes I do other things like pump gas at the gas station.
All right, well, how did you get into law? How did you go from being that guy to the lawyer? Like, how did you get into law? I don't think I ever asked you that. Yeah.
I mean, since I was probably 11 years old, I wanted to be a lawyer. So I always knew that that's where I was headed. And I always, like, when I went to college, I went to USF, and I majored in criminology, knowing that I wanted to do criminal defense. And then I knew I was going to law school, so I studied for the LSAT while I was in college. And I went straight through with the whole thing. I didn't like take any breaks because I knew that's where I wanted to be. So that's when you say how I got into law. I knew it from like 11 years
Yeah.
old. Why, I guess.
Yeah,
Um,
why? Yeah, why criminal defense? Specifically, since we're in criminal defense world.
yeah, I mean, even when I was 11, when I decided I want to be a lawyer, I don't know that I knew other fields or areas of law even existed. I don't know that I knew back then that there was any such thing as a personal injury lawyer, that you could sue people for car accidents or negligence.
Right.
I didn't really know. The first type of lawyer I knew of was a criminal defense lawyer because of maybe what I saw on TV or just like the people around me that had been getting arrested or sent to prison and whatnot. They had lawyers or needed lawyers and whatnot. So that's the first type of lawyer I ever thought of or recognized was a criminal defense lawyer, and that's the type of lawyer I wanted to be.
That's cool because, like, you see my journey. Like, I'm starting in the law, and I get that question a lot. Like, hey, what are you doing? Da, da, da. And I say, man, the real attorneys, and nobody shade this, but the real attorneys be in that courtroom. Like when I'm at the 17th Circuit, just walking the halls, I mean, that is, to me, the essence of what, again, the world views as an attorney. And again, you see the attorneys coming through there. There's just something to me about it that I really, really appreciate, really, really hold up to esteem that, okay, these people are doing the work of law. And it's interesting because, again, when you get in, you start seeing the difference between criminal defense, civil defense, and all these other titles. But yeah, the lawyers that we know and see are mainly these criminal defense lawyers that are in the courtroom doing work.
Yeah.
So, like, well, what did young Jeremy misunderstand about being a lawyer? Like, what did you, when you were coming in, like, what did you misunderstand about being a lawyer? Young
Um,
Jeremy.
Young Jeremy, I'll start with the young one, like 11, 12 years old, thought that there's a possibility I could just defend innocent people, right? That was how it worked. And I got that because I used to watch this movie. I didn't watch it all the time, but I watched it. It's a Daredevil movie that came out back around that time. I think I was 11, so that must have been '05, '06, something like that. It was a Daredevil movie, and the Daredevil is a superhero kind of at night, vigilante, but in the daytime he's a lawyer. And so
I didn't know that. Wow.
yeah, he's a lawyer, and he only represents innocent people.
Mm.
So and I don't know if you've seen any new Spider-Man movies, the new set of Spider-Man movies.
Kinda. He's an attorney too?
No, not not Spider-Man, but he meets with a lawyer at one point in time. The Spider-Man, I just
Mm.
watched the movies the other day. I think it might have been the third movie. He meets with a lawyer in his living room at one point in time, and there's a brick that passes through the wall because people are hating on him because he's Spider-Man or whatever. A brick flies through the window, and then his lawyer catches the brick, like, and Spider-Man's like, "How did you do that?" And he's like, I think he said I'm a good lawyer or something like that. But he's the lawyer, and Spider-Man doesn't realize that he's a Daredevil too because he plays both parts. He's a
Oh, okay, got it.
yeah. But back then I thought I could represent just innocent people. But then I learned, once I got older, that that's not how it happens and that's not how it works. And if there was, you can't even find out who's actually innocent. Like there's no radar you can use on somebody. Be like, you're innocent.
Right.
So that's not
That's
reality.
interesting.
But
I get that too. People are like, how can you represent I got that question like a week ago. I did some criminal defense work, and my golf buddies were like, "Could you represent a guilty person? Like, how could you do that?" And I'm like, "Everybody got rights.
yeah,
Like, there's a method to the madness of the legal system
yeah.
that a lot of people."
That people ask that question all the time, and I think people who ask that question about how you could represent guilty people or people who've done bad things, I feel like they just don't have enough life experience if they ask that type of question. Because if you have enough life experience, then your father, your brother, your sister, your cousin, any of these people, these individuals, they've been in some sort of trouble before. And once it hits closer to you, that question really doesn't get asked as much because you understand that these people deserve a defense just as much as anyone else. But it's not unless, I guess it's not until you have experienced it, gone through it yourself, or have somebody that you know that you love that's gone through it, and that you start to realize, hey, these people need someone to represent them as well. And a lot of times, right, when you're actually doing the work, right, there's so many people that are overcharged with things, right, and they need defense lawyers. There's people who are, they may not be innocent, but they don't deserve the type of punishment that is waiting on for them on the other end of the, on the other end of the conviction or whatever. So I mean, there's so many reasons, and other than just the, like that boilerplate, oh, everyone has a constitutional right, or it's just a job, or whatever it is, right? There's so many other reasons to be, proud of the work that you do defending people who are charged with crimes.
Right. Right. Oh yeah, you're a beast. Okay. So, let's move into it because big challenge that we face. You get caught up in something and you get charged with a crime. There's a difference between people that just do defense work and then people that are trial lawyers. And I mean, I would consider you, and I don't know if you consider yourself not just a defense attorney, but you are a trial lawyer, correct?
Yeah, I would definitely consider myself a trial lawyer, just based off of like how many trials I've done, how well I can pick up a file and try the case off the cuff, or with real preparation and whatnot, and just comparing myself to other lawyers with either the same amount of time as an attorney, or even more or less. Just like how many trials have that person done or this person done. Like definitely, I would consider myself a trial lawyer.
So let's get inside the mind of a trial lawyer. Like moving to the craft, what makes a dangerous trial lawyer? This is personal now because one of my goals in my early journey is to get active in trials, like to really understand the mechanism of the courtroom.
And the question is, what makes like a good trial lawyer?
What makes it dangerous? What makes you good in trial? Like,
courage is one thing. Being able to like be courageous about the case that you have, and just about your own skill set, and about saying things that or doing things that may upset or rub other people the wrong way, whether it be the judge, the prosecutor, or if you're not even talking about criminal defense, it may be opposing counsel, right? You gotta be able to take whatever your client's case is and advance it without any sort of like wiggle room for somebody else or the judge or other side to get in between what you and your client have going on, what's in his or her best interest, right? So that courage to stand up for somebody is very important. I think that's one of the main things. And then other than that, just being very, very fact it's a fact intensive thing, right? The person who knows the facts more in the case, they usually have the upper hand, right? They're usually able to try the case better. They're able to pick up on certain things that witnesses say and whatnot, right? So those two things, and then also just knowing the evidence code, right? Knowing how to get evidence.
The rules of evidence, boy.
Yeah,
that's a beat.
Knowing how to keep evidence out, keep evidence, or to get it to come in. Those sorts of things are very, very important to trial lawyers.
Evidence, keep it in, keep it out. The state attorney office is great at keeping that stuff out that they don't want to see.
Yeah, and you gotta be smart about it, and just like let me give you an example. I tried a misdemeanor case early August, and a prosecutor in they file these like boilerplate motions in limine. So this a recycled motion in limine that they will file.
They used to be humongous. It'd be like they call them omnibus. It's just thousands of.
So they file the motion, and it has a bunch of boilerplate paragraphs in there saying what they want the court to prevent the defense lawyers from doing and whatnot. And so the prosecutor at one point, she stands up and she's arguing her motions in limine, and she argues to the judge, hey, he shouldn't be allowed to get into witnesses or talk about witnesses that we didn't call, right, to trial because of this case called Halliburton in Florida. And that
elaborate on Halliburton when you get a second too. I see that a lot, but personally, if you can give me some gems on it, go ahead.
Yeah, so Halliburton is a case in Florida, and the prosecutors use that case so that when they don't call particular witnesses, if they don't call police officers or a particular civilian witness who did see something, they'll argue that the case stands for the proposition that the defense lawyer cannot say, oh, well, the prosecutor didn't call this person or the prosecutor didn't call that person, because the defense had an equal opportunity to call that individual, right? And if you never read the Halliburton case, every prosecutor is going to cite that case, and every judge is just going to agree that that's the law. But if you actually read the case, and I got tired of listening to prosecutors cite that case and try to prevent me from talking about a witness. So if you actually read the case doesn't say what the prosecutors usually say it stands for. What the case actually says is you can't, as a defense, you can't make an inference that somebody who you had an equal opportunity to call to court, you can't make an inference that that person would have said something favorable to your side, your defense, right? So that's the caveat there. And you can always mention like people who didn't show up or things that didn't happen in the trial because you have, the prosecutor has to prove their case beyond a reasonable doubt. And where can you find reasonable doubt? There's three places: conflicts in the evidence, the lack of evidence in the evidence itself. So you can't tell me that the lack of evidence. You can't tell me that the prosecution has to prove this case beyond a reasonable doubt, that you can find reasonable doubt in the lack of evidence, but I can't tell the jury that the lack of evidence exists in this witness who did not testify. Right? So that's like a very nuanced thing. But
Halliburton buster right there.
Yeah. So if you don't know, and if you don't go to trial enough, it'll blindside you, and then you won't have read the case probably before you get to trial, and then boom, it's there. The judge is agreeing with it. It's like a standard thing that they do. But if you actually read the case, point it out, then you can get some relief that you need.
So, okay, so I got a gym there. You know, I got to put. So you just walk around with that in your back pocket, then, huh? Just got all these.
There's a lot of little things. There's a lot of little things that you pick up as you go, right? Because you get tired of like hitting these roadblocks, and you think to yourself, doesn't seem right. Doesn't seem like this just should be the way that this operates or whatever. And you actually read the case and you look up some case law and you figure it out, and you use that skill every time that you go forward. I mean, I'll give you another one just real quick. So there were supposed to be two witnesses at that same trial to testify. It was supposed to be the victim and their significant other or whatever. So state subpoenas those two witnesses. We start the trial. The victim testifies, but the state says that the victim's significant other, they let the person go home. They're not coming anymore, and that's it. So I relied on that person to be there, right? That significant other. So I tell the judge, the state released that witness, and they weren't supposed to release the witness according to the rules. And the judge is like, well, did you subpoena the witness? I said, I didn't subpoena the witness, but under Rule 3.361, once the state or any party subpoenas a witness, that party is not allowed to leave court unless the parties agree or the court allows that witness to leave. And you didn't allow that witness to leave. The state just let them leave and didn't contact or tell me anything about it, right? So the judge didn't know the rule. I had to give the rule to the judge, and once they read the rule, it's in the rule, and I think it's statute too. The witness had to come back. They had to get the witness to come back. So it's like little things like that like they will play games, and if you don't have the tool right then and there,
wow,
you're stuck.
I did some work with Janito Simon, attorney Janito Simon. I didn't know you guys had the. I mean, he has the numbers in the brain. I didn't know it was that detailed to where you can quote statute, rules of evidence, numbers in his brain, and it was to the point where the judge had to pull out the rule of evidence and go to the statute. I was like, dang, you know more than the judge in certain instances.
Yeah,
I thought that was level two.
Sometimes it's our job to teach the judge the rules.
Man, that was level two for me.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have a question at the end of this, but jury selection, like, what's something you know to do in a jury selection that the average person sitting in a courtroom will completely miss? Like that jury selection game is very, very crucial for trial lawyers and defense, both sides, but trial lawyers particularly. Jury selection. Your thoughts?
So the question is, what is something that somebody in the jury might not recognize, or somebody just like in the audience?
Layman person, like we see a jury up there. We see jury. They're like, okay, that's a great jury. What are you looking for? What's something we would miss, or not we now, but the layman person would miss about a jury in a trial?
People often think that they're going in and picking the jury. So if you don't know jury selection, they'll file in a bunch of people in the courtroom, and they're looking to pick, or we're looking to select or deselect, until we get to, like, in a misdemeanor or felony case, it's usually in Florida, 6 jurors plus 1 or 2 alternates. If it's a capital case, it's 12 jurors plus one or two alternates or whatever, right? The bigger the case, the more issues, the more people they will file in the beginning. So let's say for misdemeanor cases, they're going to probably bring like 30 or so jurors for you all to pick or deselect from. Bigger cases, they may bring 50, 75, 100 jurors to come in and you all pick or deselect from those individuals. People think that you just pick the ones that you like and you get them on the jury, right? Even clients will think that. And then even when you hear people in the jury, what they call the pool, right, when they're saying things that are favorable to you, let's say, for instance, you're a criminal defendant.
I like this one. Yeah.
There's a person in the jury pool that says, I could never find somebody guilty. It's just not in my veins. It's not in my blood. Your client is sitting there like, we gotta have him. Like, we have to have that person. And I have to tell them, listen, that's not how it works. The judge and the state are not going to allow somebody who just said that to sit on your jury. Anybody here that says anything that sounds remotely favorable to you, they're going to try to kick off. Right? So our goal here is not to find people that say things that are favorable to you. Really want to keep those people as quiet as possible on the jury so that the state and the judge don't see that. And then, if possible, at the end, we can let them be on our jury. But we want to make sure that those people are as quiet as possible throughout the selection.
Right.
What we are looking for is the people who are exact opposite of that. People who are going to find you guilty no matter what, just because you look this way or you dress this way or whatever, right? And so we're looking for the bad apples, what H.T. Smith calls the poison on the pool. So that's what I'm actually looking for in jury selection, is the bad people, the people who are very biased against our case. And as
so we're not picking the jury, we're picking the enemies of the jury, essentially. Yeah. You just happen to make it, but we're trying to pick the enemies of it.
Yeah, and get them off. It's so long
as you call it poison or
the poison. You got to get rid of the poison.
Okay.
So long as I can get all of those bad apples off, I can get the poison off, and I'm left with people who are just, straight down the middle, fair, and maybe I can get a couple or one or whatever that is favorable to your side, then good, right? So long as if I can get fair jurors and we got a case where this is not a slam dunk for the state or whatever, even sometimes if it is a slam dunk for the state, if I can get a reasonable, fair jury, like I said in the video, we can make magic happen.
Make magic. That video was hard too, by the way. So this just for clarity, this show's supposed to be 30 minutes. We're getting into some very good. My law student friends are going to probably go crazy with this clip, but we're going to keep moving. But I want to have a follow back up with you. We can go into some more specific trial work too, because I'm fascinated. But moving on, is there something that everybody in the courthouse knows that happens regularly, but nobody says happens publicly? Like, what's some of the courtroom stuff that we're seeing every day that the public don't know what's going on?
I mean, one thing is like a trial tax, right? Your client.
Talk about that.
What'd you say?
Yeah, you call it, what'd you say?
A trial tax. So when you go to trial, when a defendant goes to trial, right? Let's say they offer in their cases like a year. The state attorneys offer a year of probation. They're offering a year of probation. You go to trial, you get found guilty. You're going to get a trial tax. The judge is not going to say, okay, well, now that we've tried this case and we brought these jurors in and we spent 4 days trying this case and, you're just as guilty as you were prior to the trial. No more guilty, no less guilty. You haven't done anything more or less. You're not in any more trouble than you were before. Now that you've finished the trial, we're going to make sure that you get a lot more than just that 1 year of probation, because you've wasted, and they won't say this last part, right? That you've wasted our time, but that is the sentiment, that you wasted the court's time going to trial, you didn't plead guilty, so we're going to give you what's called a trial tax. They don't say the trial word either, but it reflects in every single sentence that comes about after someone's rejected a plea and gone to trial. They usually will always get a more hefty sentence. The judges will coach it under some different terms. They may say, oh, well, it's not a trial tax, but some people do deserve credit for taking pleas. So those people deserve credit for taking a plea. Almost like saying if that person didn't take a plea, they would have been in the same position as your client.
Yeah. That seems to violate seems like our constitutional right to have a trial by jury.
Yeah. You have a right to have the trial by jury. You just don't have the right to be sentenced to the same thing if you had pled guilty.
Yeah, that's interesting. All right, so we're gonna run into lightning round. Lightning round supposed to be fun, supposed to be quick. You can't think about it. You got an objection, just have an answer. Okay, this
Yeah.
is an objection, just answer. I'm gonna say a sentence or a word, and you just give me a one-word response. First thing comes to your mind. Okay, be dangerous. We'll try to clip it. Judge or jury, who scares you more?
Judge.
Ooh. Prosecutor, you secretly enjoy going against.
Ooh.
Yeah. No, that was
Leonard Thompson.
okay. Oh, Leonard. Oh boy, I'm gonna get Leonard. Uh-oh. You know what? What's your win ratio? You got a win ratio
We've only
against
tried
Leonard?
we've only tried one case together. That
Yeah.
one case, it was a guilty verdict, and then
Uh,
it got overturned on appeal, and it's going up again in October.
oh wow. Okay. Rematch. Wow. Is he gonna try it again, Simon?
Yeah, he's trying it again.
You're trying. Okay, that's gonna be interesting. All right. Worst client sentence. I googled it, or my cousin said.
I googled it probably because
Okay, 100K murder.
I hear that more often.
100K murder. Okay. 100K murder case or 10K DUI
Murder case. I'll
murder
take
case. Okay. Client tells you the truth or tells you a good story.
the truth. I make up the story.
All right. What's more dangerous to your case, Instagram or TikTok?
Probably Instagram. Instagram lives.
Okay. Instagram Live. Okay. One thing you never want to hear your client say on a recorded jail call.
So what had happened was
Okay. You get arrested tonight. You can't represent yourself. Who's the first person you calling?
H.D. Smith. If he'll take my case.
All right. All right, so finish this sentence. It's a bonus. The room is hot right now. We overtime, but I thank you. Jeremy, finish this sentence. A lawyer who says they never lost a case is probably
Never tried enough cases.
oh, never tried enough case. Okay. All right, and Jeremy, I appreciate you. I appreciate a silly law. I know you're probably ripping and running around the city. And again, if you allow me to run this back, I want to do maybe a law student edition and get some heavy legal stuff going in there. But thank you for making it to Give Me Mike. We've motivated and we've inspired and cultivated the future leaders of our industry.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate your work and that you're doing for us. And hopefully we'll get something going together soon.
Yep, of course. Whenever. I appreciate you having me too.
Yeah, we're locked in.
All right.
Do you remember?